How secure is ProtonMail? How private is it? Well, a Swiss climate activist got busted by the police and it's down to ProtonMail. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get into the video. So, boy oh boy, you thought ProtonMail was protecting your privacy online? You thought your communications were secure? Well, ProtonMail has just updated their terms and it follows a little incident. Well, it's not a little incident, it's a little incident in the grand scheme of things, but it's a major incident for ProtonMail because it has forced them to update their terms and conditions. And I'm going to read you the slight change, the little line that they've added to their terms. But they've basically released a statement because they know how serious this is. And it relates to basically the Swiss authorities, the police, making a request to ProtonMail for the logging of an IP address. And that IP address was linked to a climate activist. I'm going to read you their statement, the brief points. We're not going to get into long reading here on this channel. we're not that intelligent. No, really, it makes for a boring video. So, but I'll cipher the stuff out and I'll get you the info because I know that we don't have time all the time to check through these things. But nevertheless, this is important, and it's because it's even more important because my clique, you guys, my gang, and especially you lot on Subscribestar, I know that you use ProtonMail. I use ProtonMail. We all use ProtonMail. It's really important it's part of the arsenal of becoming a modern age citizen on the net. You need to use Brave browser. You need to shut down that tracking. You want to keep what you can to yourself. You don't want your data being used and abused by big tech companies such as Google and Facebook. And ProtonMail is really part and parcel of doing much of those things. I will stress right now, you don't need to worry about the contents of your communications. I'm about 95% sure that your emails are not being read, your attachments are not being read. And yeah, let's get into it, okay? So, ProtonMail released a statement. I think I should read it to you. We would like to provide more information, more important clarification regarding the case of a climate activist who was recently arrested by French police on criminal charges. La-di-da, they say they're concerned. La-la-la. They deplored that legal tools for serious crimes are being used in this way. La-la-la. In the interest of transparency, we would like to provide additional context. Okay. In this case, and I'll just read you, it's a short sentence or two. Proton received a legally binding order from Swiss authorities, which we are obliged to comply with. There was no possibility to appeal this particular request. So fair enough on ProtonMail, okay? They are operating in Switzerland. Switzerland, the police in Switzerland, probably in relation being contacted by the French, have had to reveal the information of a user, an IP address. And ProtonMail is stuck in a position where it has to comply. I'm going to just get you this. I'm going to read you this little bit now for the terms and conditions. The change, it's a real short. And this is basically they say that they log your IP address for spamming reasons, denial of service attacks, and just to protect their own infrastructure really. But they've added this line: if you are breaking Swiss law It's funny because this guy got arrested in France. ProtonMail can be legally compelled to log your IP address as part of a Swiss criminal investigation. This obligation, however, does not extend to Proton VPN. So I use Proton VPN occasionally. It's not my main VPN provider, but I do have it set up. I'd be worried about this changing in the future and Proton VPN having to release logs of their users. I've got some advice for you near the end of this video, okay, but let's carry on. And then they go on here just a little bit. The period of temporary data retention is determined by our legitimate interests of protecting the service, fair enough, from spam, and also by any applicable Swiss legal requirements we must comply with. So, bam shabam. I think they're just basically saying that they can log your data indefinitely. They didn't put a time frame as to how long they can hold this data for, and they said that it can be determined by Swiss law, by any requests. We'll carry on. Jeez, guys, this is serious, isn't it? Let's get on to this. Let's look on the assurances that ProtonMail have given us. Under no circumstances can our encryption be bypassed. Sorry, I missed that. I fluffed that line up. Under no circumstances can our encryption be bypassed. Okay, so that includes emails, attachments, calendars, and the files, and so on and so forth. ProtonMail does not give data to foreign governments. That's funny, isn't it? You got arrested in France. It seems like the French just handed it over to the Swiss to run this investigation, so therefore Swiss law could be applicable. Yeah, they got around that. ProtonMail does not give data to foreign governments. That's jokes. Let's carry on. Swiss authorities will only approve requests which meet Swiss legal standards. There you go. Transparency with our user community is extremely important to us. Since 2015, we have published a transparency report publicizing how we handle Swiss law enforcement requests. Okay, under Swiss law, it is obligatory for a user to be notified if a third party makes a request. I don't think he got notified in this. There was no third party. Under current Swiss law, email and VPN are treated differently. Let's see how long that lasts. Due to Proton's strict privacy, we do not know the identity of our users. That's fair enough. Yeah, they do not know. There was no legal possibility to resist or fight this particular request. Okay, so they changed their terms and conditions. They've been quite honest about it. Now, we are in a real murky world, okay? No email service is entirely secure. And obviously that's apparent now with ProtonMail, which is supposed to be the most stringent, most strict email service in protecting your privacy. Great encryption, really lousy when it comes to protecting your IP address. Now, I just got to stress here, I really don't know of any other email service that can get around this. If you know, let me know in the comments. I'd say even if you had your own email server, as Hillary Clinton did, they can still track emails being sent to that server. They can track information being sent to that server, and they can log your IP address as well. So I really don't know any way around this. Could the future lie in applications like Signal and so on? I don't know. But yeah, let me know if you're a ProtonMail user. Let me know if you're concerned at all about this. I guess it really only applies to people breaking the law. But then again, we know authorities are abusing the law. So that's not really a comforting factor. Leave it there. Much love. Check out the links below. Over and out. Right guys, you've made it this far into the video, and I think it's time that you give me a backing on Subscribestar. It's a big help. There's tiers for every single level, guys. There's something I give you back on every tier, and just for a limited time only, I'll bunk anyone who subscribes to me on my Subscribestar profile on any tier, any level. I will bunk you up one notch for free. It's a limited offer. And so, for example, if you back me even on the free tier, I will bunk you up to the $6 level. Okay, every tier's got something juicy to give back to you, nice little perks. I always try and give something back. It's not something like where you buy me a coffee or a pint or something like that. Anyone who backs me will get some perk back. So please check out the links down below and back me on Subscribestar. Much love, over and out.